Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn Petrak, Senior Editor, Progressive Grocer, and welcome to Top Women in Grocery. It's a podcast focusing on the trends, topics, and interests that move women forward in the grocery industry. We spotlight extraordinary women with fantastic careers and interesting lives who make a positive impact on their workplace and community. And today I'm so excited to be talking with Christina Minardi, Executive Vice President of Growth and Development for Whole Foods Market and Amazon, and a past Top Women in Grocery award winner. So welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm excited to be here this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, we're so happy that you could join us and take some time for us. We appreciate it. A little bit more about Christina. She draws on her experience and passion for innovation to oversee the company's real estate, construction, store design, and several strategic growth initiatives. As part of her role, she leads all global real estate for Amazon, including Whole Foods Market. Her connection, and we'll get into this more because it's interesting, her connection to food began as a child at Minardi's Bakery of Paterson, New Jersey, the family-owned bakery where she experienced firsthand that hard work goes into running a successful business and the power of food to bring families and communities together. Her career with the company started in Millburn, New Jersey in 1995 in store leadership at Fresh Fields prior to the Whole Foods Market acquisition. In 2002, she was named Vice President of the Northeast region before becoming Regional President in 2005. Under her 12 years of leadership, stores across the Northeast region consistently led the company in average weekly sales and sales volume per square foot. In addition to opening 31 stores during her tenure, she also built an exceptional leadership team, of which half the positions are held by women or team members with diverse backgrounds. She joined Whole Foods Market Executive Team as EVP of Operations in 2018 and successfully led Amazon integration, supported real estate strategy, drove culinary innovation, reimagined the customer experience, and grew e-commerce initiatives for Whole Foods Market. Outside of work, Christine is a passionate supporter of several mission-based community programs, including Hot Bread Kitchen, New Jersey Food Council, and Bowery Mission. A proud New Jersey native, she lives in Wayne with her wife and daughter. She is also a passionate cook with an insatiable appetite for culinary discovery. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Lynn. Wow, that was awesome.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to get into it. So, I guess you're a foodie? I don't know.
I can talk about food all day long. Yes.
Me too.
Growing up in a Sicilian bakery, and then my mother was Spanish, so there was always great food around. It was definitely the center of my childhood and continues to be the center of my life. So yes, I love food.
It is, and it's a shared experience a lot of us have in this industry, and it really it's a passion, right? And it just spills out into probably everything you do every day.
Yeah, I can remember when I was a child and I would go delivering bread with my father to different supermarkets and stuff. And I would hurry up and help him load the bread. And then I would go wandering the grocery shelves. So no wonder that I ended up in the grocery business after all that, which at the time after college, he was not very happy that I was going into the grocery business. Yeah. But then once I started to move up and do more, I think he really understood, which was really great. Yeah. And they were very excited for me.
And it's and what a rewarding industry it's been. And, I used to work at a deli and got there at 6 a.m. when the fresh bread got delivered. And then, I would peel off the heel.
Yes. Yes. My father would come home with a bag of bread and we'd have to give it to all the neighbors, and a couple of my friends would take some loaves. But their parents always told me by the time I got home, it was only half a loaf. That's great. They would eat it on the way walking home.
You can't resist, right?
No, absolutely. That smell of fresh bread is just phenomenal. Yeah.
It is. It is. That's fantastic. And so from there to doing what you're doing, creating these amazing stores and these store experiences across the country. So, I think you talked about kind of what shaped your career. So how do you bring that into the customer experience for where stores are located, what the stores look like? How do you kind of bring that together? And that's a pretty big question. But if you had to think about how it shaped your approach to your job.
Well, on the real estate side, it's really important for us to not only be in the right community, but really look at the location. Does it have great accessibility? Is it on the going home side? Is it a community, obviously, that we feel like we can really flourish and grow? We spend a lot of time in analyzing and making sure we have great real estate. That has to be first. Do we have landlords that are willing to work with us and have co-tenants that really will help us and help the co-tenants? From there, we really spend a good amount of time on designing these stores. We want these stores to fit into the communities that we're in. Our customers always tell us that Whole Foods Market is a second home for them. And, we lost a little bit of that during COVID, but it is back.
Yeah.
Cafes are filled. People are engaging in prepared foods again. And we really, as I said, spend a lot of time, get to know the communities that we're in, and then design the store to fit in well.
Hmm.
And even sometimes it's some like fun things that we do, like we opened last year our One Wall Street store.
Oh, I
And
know.
we started
Yeah.
working on that project years ago. And it's a beautiful Art Deco building. It was built in 1927. So we did a lot of research of what the building originally looked like. It had a bank in it.
Hmm.
And we found pictures actually even in the library. Found some online, but found some at the library. And when we designed that store, our store looks and feels like the bank did back in the 20s and 30s.
That's
And
so
we
cool.
actually got from the landlord some unique pieces. They had these beautiful gold panel doors on the elevators.
Hmm.
We secured those. We kept them in storage for 5 years. And then the old mailbox, the mailbox used to come down
Yeah.
from level to level. We have the mailbox, and we brought that all back to life. That's reused into the store. So we
That's
love doing
amazing.
that kind of stuff. One, it's
Hmm.
less stuff in the landfill, and then
Yeah.
two, it really has these stores fit in the community. So when you're walking in, it's not this super modern store in
Hmm.
an area of Manhattan that's not like that.
Hmm.
So it
Hmm.
really feels like it's an extension of the community.
Well, I remember our editor, Bridget Goldschmidt, our managing editor, went over there and came back and said that, like, okay, this is really cool, and shared some of the details. So that really, I'm sure you hear it all the time from customers that
Yeah,
they
we don't
appreciate it.
have cookie cutter stores, but
Yeah.
what we have found, because all of our stores are snowflakes over the
Hmm.
years, with rising cost, inflation, we don't have a lot of efficiency. So what we've really gotten to now, which is really just the last couple of years, is we don't have to have different break room furniture in every single store. That's how we used to
Hmm.
do it. Every
Yeah.
single store was complete snowflake, and now we're finding efficiencies in the back of the house, but at the
Yeah.
same time, we're still keeping the uniqueness through design that
Hmm.
these stores fit well into the community.
And you can see some of the ones out west, because I've seen photos of some of the newer stores you've done out there, and that really almost brings the outside into those stores too. So it's so thoughtful.
Yeah, like our new Albuquerque store, we just
Yeah.
reload, and we had, we have Allegro Coffee Company that's part of Whole Foods Market, and they had this old VW bus that had been sitting in there for years and years, and I was like, we have to bring this thing back to life. So we took it, we refurbished it, and we
Hmm.
made it this Instagram moment in the Albuquerque Cafe. So you can go in there, you can play music with an app, and you can take pictures for Instagram, and it's just so fun, and it's
Yeah.
so Albuquerque, like it fits
Yeah.
perfect to
Yeah.
have that
Right.
VW bus there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we spend a lot of time doing that because it's one of the things that customers really love about the Whole
Hmm.
Food stores, how they feel. And our desire when we're designing these stores is really to get customers excited by what they see, smell, and taste when they come into a Whole Food store.
Hmm.
That's what we're built on. Very high standards, high quality food, and we want to have this environment which is very inviting.
It's a signal to them almost immediately. It really. And are you a history buff too, Christina?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
News
Yeah.
buff, yes, definitely news buff and some history,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah,
of good that you can
absolutely.
incorporate it in, and you're probably working on multiple things at once and other stores that we are probably going to be hearing about pretty soon because you're on a pretty ambitious growth path too.
Yes, well, we have our new concept daily shop that we
Yes.
announced, which
Yes.
again, something that I've been really thinking about this for quite a while. If you look at a market like Manhattan, we have like 14 stores in Manhattan,
Hmm.
and similar to Chicago, customers will go to the bigger store and do a big shop. But if they have to get their milk or friends are coming over and they've got to make a quick charcuterie platter, they'll
Hmm.
go to what's the closest within a few blocks. So the idea around daily shop is to really create this. Quick shop for customers. So you can get your milk, you can do your full shop there as well, but it's kind of like a fill-in concept in between our bigger stores. So we see this definitely in urban areas, and we're really excited. We have 5 locations in New York City that we're going to open later this year and next year, and then we do see this continuing to grow to other cities.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the timeline on it just so I can make sure I'm available to go check them out.
Yeah, this fall
Okay.
we'll definitely have one, trying to get 2 open.
Hmm.
And again, these are smaller stores. They're between 7,000 and 14,000 square feet. They'll use less labor. So if you go into a typical Whole Foods, you'll have a full service meat department with meat cutters. This store will have packaged, still the same selection, but it'll be packaged meat offsite. Same thing for prepared foods. We won't have food bars, but we'll have most of the selection that we offer in our stores. So the idea is, number one, building these faster, they're smaller, less labor, but the selection, I was actually quite surprised when we were designing this, how many linear feet of grocery we actually can get in here. So
Yes.
it won't be short of product by any means, or selection. And we really were mindful in the design I wanted to be able to stand anywhere in the store and kind of do a round circle around and only see food. So that's, hopefully we've accomplished that in the majority of the space of the store.
Well, and did more spaces become available because, with some of the commercial real estate, when things kind of shook out after the pandemic, did that kind of open up new opportunities for locations for you? How did that kind of work out?
Well, it's definitely easier to get these, obviously, because they're smaller. It does get harder and harder to do big 50,000 square foot stores for a lot of reasons. Finding the space, vertical transportation, plus cost to build. But in cities, we have a good footprint in many cities: Chicago, New York, San Francisco, and this allows us to be a fill-in between our other stores.
And is there a complementary design too, where you're kind of in a Whole Foods concept? Are you trying to bring that to life and make it unique as well? And
well, you'll definitely know you're in a Whole Foods. I call it Whole Foods' little sister, and these stores will not be as much of a snowflake as the Whole Foods stores. So the look, the feel, the core, where you go to different Whole Foods, and one might be more black and white, one might more have our Florida stores have more bright colors. The Daily Shop is a consistent look and feel when it comes to decor. Okay. Yeah, and we worked with a new firm out of Italy and Sweden. So we're testing out some new equipment, new cases. They feel lighter. And I think that if we really like them and they operate well, we could see some of those showing up in our regular Whole Foods stores as well.
And are those those have some sustainable elements and features to it too, I would imagine?
Yes, absolutely. In a lot of ways, Europe is a little more advanced than the United States, but that's we have a sustainability team. We're constantly looking at ways to build our stores. Like, for example, if we're going in and we have to demo or doing a remodel, everything gets bundled together. All wood gets bundled together, all metal, everything is recycled. Okay. We're one of the ones that I'm most proud of is our Brooklyn store on 3rd and 3rd. We built that 10 years ago. That was a ground up project. It was a Superfund, the Gowanus Canal Superfund site. We cleaned the property, brought in 25 feet of beautiful, pristine dirt. And then we really wanted to create a store that not only looked and felt like it had been in Brooklyn for 50 years, 100 years, but we wanted to build the greenest store we could. So we built that store, and it's platinum LEEDs, which is the first supermarket in the state of New York to be platinum LEEDs. We built it from the ground up. We used recycled brick from an old building from the 1800s. Cool. We collect all the rainwater in the parking lot that's used to flush the toilets and do irrigation. We used wood from the Coney Island Boardwalk after Sandy. We secured some of that and used it in the store. And my personal favorite is, I grew up in an Italian bakery, as you'd said. After we had it for 83 years, it was sold. And I took the bakery tables and I repurposed them in our Brooklyn store, and they're the cafe tables upstairs. So there's these 6 beautiful bread pastry tables that are in the Brooklyn store. So again, recycled everything we could in that one.
And when you go into that store and you see people sitting and enjoying their food there, that's got to be a moment for you.
I kept one table for myself. I have in my basement where I make my bread. One time I was sitting there and I saw these customers right after opening, and one of the tables has colors, like a lot of pink and stuff stained into the wood. And the couple were talking, they go, "Oh, somebody must have taken a marker and did this." And I walked over to them and I said, "No, actually, let me tell you a little history. That's from the when we used to color the eggs for Easter.
No.
For the Easter bread, that was the airbrush machine, and it got the wood colored, and it's embedded in the wood." So I explained that to him. I go, "No, nobody took a Sharpie, thank God. It's from years and years of decorating cakes and decorating eggs for Easter."
Well, their mouths were probably hanging open when they
they would talk to me for a long time after that.
Oh, so, I'm sure. Yeah. And on that note, do you convey things like if I'm a shopper in these stores and this is fascinating, how do you communicate that to shoppers in some ways that the stores they are visiting have elements like that?
We have some signage up in stores, but we do find that a lot of customers don't, see the signage. I mean, when we opened Brooklyn, we had some great YouTube videos that talk about all the green mission that we did with that store. And and just the whole process of building that store. So we do try to get it out through PR and through messaging. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
because it's
store team leader
fascinating.
there, Gina, is also one of your award winners this year. And
Yes.
she's fabulous, fabulous. She's been there for many years. I remember calling her to ask her at the time if she would go there as the assistant store team leader. And she was screaming on the phone. She was so excited. I had to pull the phone away from me. She's great. She's just great. She runs a great store in Brooklyn.
That's great. Well, I'm gonna have to get out there. I have to get out there and visit that one too. So
yeah, yes.
And you're working on what's the next one coming? I know that you have the Daily Shop. Do you have a sneak preview of any other one that you're working on that you're particularly proud of, Christina?
Well, we have Huntington, New York coming here in the New York area. I mean, we have a total of 75 stores in development for Whole Foods right now. Yeah, and then 5 Daily Shops. So we have a lot of great stores. We have one Fairfax in LA. It's a current store, and we're relocating it on the same, but we're making it much bigger. We're really excited about that. We're doing a kind of a little bit of a new concept. So the way the store is broken up, it has 16,000 at grade, and then the rest of the stores above is like 50,000. So on the grade space, we're doing what we call a celebration store. And it's really just kind of emphasizing a larger specialty department, cheese, catering, everything you need to have a party, a larger wine department and spirits department. We'll have a concierge that'll help you plan your party. We can do all your catering. So again, we're kind of excited about playing with new ideas that way. It's a perfect market for it. We're going to make charcuterie platters for customers. You can bring your wood in and we'll make it for you, or we'll have ones that we can sell. So it's everything you need to have a party and celebration.
Well, that will be like TikTok, Instagram Central, like when you get over to that store.
Yeah. Our online catering is really taken off. It's really great. I ordered from it for New Year's, and that's something we want to continue to grow and emphasize.
Well, and I was, I was looking at Mother's Day, Father's Day. We looked over the holidays, and I was like, "Dang, this looks good." And the price point is pretty good for people, because by the time you go out for brunch, you can have something that's amazing with some great great
and it is good
food.
The quality is good. Like I got deviled eggs for a brunch, and I got the bagel platter with the lox. It was excellent. It was really good.
Well, and deviled eggs are kind of like a pain to make.
Yes, they are. Well, if you can't get the shell off, I don't know how my mother ever did it. She had a trick. She always was able to get it off perfectly. Not me.
You see here, I like mangle it, and my mom would put it under cold water, right, and take the spoon and crack it with the spoon, and she would do the same thing. She'd peel it off, and I now like destroy the egg.
And you're making egg salad instead of deviled eggs. Yes.
Yeah. There's some tricks to the trade that they must have had then. And how, I love that you have a background as a store leader too, Christina. So how does that how do you kind of tap into that viewpoint and when you're doing work?
Yeah, it's definitely where I'm rooted. I think about the stores when I'm designing stores, when we're, again, looking at real estate. I spend a lot of time in our stores. I think last year, I visited over 70 Whole Foods stores, plus a ton of other competitors and retailers, just to continue to learn and grow. What I really try with my team is, so when I got to go back to design, is I want them, after we open a store, to spend time in the store and understand if we're designing something new, what did we get right? What do we have to continue to evolve? Talk to store leadership, talk to the team members, and really understand how their job is being impacted by what we've designed. The other big thing that we're trying to do right now is, labor continues to be a challenge, is designing for labor savings. And that is like, how many steps does it take a team member to go from the cooler to the wet rack? How many steps is it taking a team member to make a sandwich? How can we make that more efficient? We can draw it on paper all day long, but if we don't experience it in the store and revisit the store and talk to the people that are doing it every day, we're going to miss the mark. So I have my team that spends at least 2 to 3 days every year in a store, working in a store. So they could really understand how it's impacting both the customer and the team member. And you'll see me talking to customers, and I'll be asking them a million questions, again, so we can learn, evolve. We want to be the best that we can be in retail, in food retail. And this is across all banners, both Whole Foods and for Amazon. We're opening our Amazon Fresh stores. We're very excited about those. And how can we continue to evolve and grow those stores as well?
And that's a work in progress. So that's interesting because you have the flexibility to say what's working, what's not working. Let's try this, let's try that. So that's kind of opened up some great things for you to really experiment and see what works in that concept as well.
Yeah, working with so I started working with the Amazon team more closely for real estate and store development and design for the last 2 years, and
Mm-hmm.
just so many talented people there. But what I've done is I've taken a lot of my team and I've made them what I call hybrid teams. So where traditionally had people just working on Whole Foods and just working on Amazon concepts, I've combined a lot of the teams because what I want to do is take the 40 plus years of experience we have on Whole Foods and building great supermarkets and what I call the discipline of that
Mm-hmm.
Amazon team has and putting them together. And it's been so great. I mean,
Yeah.
really, them working together, it's beyond my dreams at this point. And it's really efficient. So, really excited about the work that we're doing here because, like I said, Amazon has such great processes and disciplines, and that
Mm-hmm.
we needed a little bit more of that on the Whole Food side. And then the experience of designing and building great supermarkets is helping the Amazon banners continue to get better.
Well, and even if they're in the same market, I've been in a market in Chicago where I've been to an Amazon Fresh, and then I'll go visit Whole Foods, and you can see the discipline kind of
Yeah, have
across.
you been into our new V2 stores that we remodeled some of the Chicago stores and some of
Oak
the LA
Lawn, was it
ones?
Oak Lawn? I think I was in one, maybe Schaumburg. I'm trying to remember which
Yeah,
suburb I was
Schaumburg,
in.
yes.
I think
Yeah,
it was
so
Schaumburg.
we gave
Yeah.
it a new decor. We've lightened up the
Hmm.
stores a little. We really want the food to speak to the customer.
Hmm.
And the tech is a little bit more in the background there to help and support, but a little bit more in the background. And we're going to continue to evolve that. In the coming years, we're going to have new designs and new layouts that we're going to introduce, and we're going to keep trying and testing.
Hmm.
But our idea is to really be to win in grocery across all brands.
And the consumers are really cannot get enough of prepared foods. They've always liked it, but really right now, I mean, we're kind of seeing that across the board, and I'm sure you are too, because that's a sweet spot for both.
Yes, and really keeping our quality standards at the forefront of our prepared
Hmm.
foods. We've always had really good tasting food, reminding customers that we have quality standards on what we're selling,
Hmm.
and we really need to continue to have great quality food and enhance our quality standards.
So when you work with teams from both organizations, and you're working across your teams across the country, how would you just describe your leadership style, Christina?
Well, you touched on a little bit earlier, but this is a award for women in leadership, and I've been a big champion of very early. Probably even going back to being a child and looking at my grandmother, who was really running our family bakery. My grandfather died at
Hmm.
a young age, and she was tough, but I realized she was a great mentor. She taught me how to work really hard, take care of the customer. She was customer obsessed.
Hmm.
Back in the 70s, so that was great. And then after college, when I started working in retail, I always gravitated to other great women leaders. I realized that, and I've had great mentors
Hmm.
across women and men. But I think
Hmm.
it's so vital for us to be a really good mentor, especially to women and people of diverse background. So
Yeah.
it's one of the things that I've really tried to enhance with my team and leadership. Bringing different perspective, bringing a diverse perspective to your team. It gives you a totally different outlook and makes you think about things that you haven't thought about. So I really try to, I call it the tapping on the shoulder through my career and look for great, talented people, especially with emphasis on women and people of diverse background, and giving them a nudge and saying,
Hmm.
"Come on, it's time to do more. You can do more." And be
Hmm.
there as a resource, be a great collaborator, listen, find out what their challenges are, and help push them along. And so I try to do that a lot with definitely my team. I have very high standards, but at the same time, I really do try to have high standards, but always lead with love and compassion. And it's
That's
probably from growing up in a family business,
hmm
but that's definitely been my style.
Boy, and you sure can get so much productivity out of people with that type of approach. You sure can. And you probably see a shared passion for food, because I don't think really too many people get into and keep going in this industry without that passion for food. So I'm sure you recognize that when you see it too.
Yes, and our life now is so much on video, and so I have found it most helpful with the Amazon team again because they're kind of new to the food. So on a lot of calls, I will end the call saying, "What's everybody going to eat this weekend?" Or on
Nice.
a Monday, I'll say, who ate something really exciting this weekend? And I'm always trying to bring food into the conversation. And then I remind everyone, don't forget, we're here. We're in the food business. Think about food. Every
Yeah.
time you're in another city, go and visit a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Learn, taste. Again, that's the business we're in. You got to be passionate about food. It's tough to
And at
build
the end of the
supermarkets if you're not.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you're a shopper too. So like, okay, what are some things that are in your cart? Like if you go to a Whole Foods that you haven't been, or an Amazon Fresh store that you haven't been in a while, what's in your cart, Christina?
Oh my God, my cart is big. I entertain a lot. Bread is always
Of
bread,
course.
olive oil, produce, always in my cart. I have this thing lately. I don't know why, but I'm on a kick for these pastry tarts. It's like a clean Pop-Tart. And for some reason, I've been wanting those lately. It's really
There's
fun.
fruit. There's
really
fruit in
fun.
there.
Fruit. Oh, definitely fruit. Blueberries. I don't think a day goes by when I don't eat blueberries. And they're so good for you. I love them.
They are so good for you. I like that little mix that Whole Foods has over in the with the, I think it's blueberries, raspberries, maybe in strawberries or something. I don't know. It's like the three colors, and I grab it. It goes in my cart.
Yeah, so good. And the papaya. It's a pain sometimes to cut the papaya. I find so I always get the cut. Usually the other fruit I'll cut myself, but papaya I always get the cut ones with the little lime inside. Yeah. And what you should try with that is put a little chili lime spice on it. So
okay.
Yeah, it goes good on papaya and it goes good on pineapple.
Oh, that sounds good.
Chili lime spice on pineapple is so good.
I do have some chili lime spice on there, so I'll have to try. It's like when I first put honey on pepperoni, I was like, what is this?
So good. Mike's Hot Honey. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes.
It is so good. It is
good. I have a pizza oven in my yard, so I'm often making pizza, inviting people over. If I have too much pizza, I start walking around to my neighbors and knock on their door and hand them pizza.
Or they find you because they can smell it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I do love food. I cook often. I would say I'm probably cooking 3 to 4 days a week. Even if it's just cooking on the fly, or on the weekend doing having people over.
And then you can pass that on to your daughter, right? And then you just kind of keep that going.
Yeah, I'm trying. She's 17. When she was little, she would help me a little in the kitchen, but she's at that age right now. She's not interested, but she'll come back.
It'll come back.
She did give me for the holidays. It was a beautiful gift. This beautiful book that's set up to write all the recipes down. She goes, I want you to write all the recipes down.
Oh, I love that.
So I've been trying to do that because my mother didn't do that. And I would just be at my mother's knee trying to learn. And she was a fabulous cook, my mother. So, I feel like sometimes when I make some of my mother's dishes, she's passed. I feel like she's there with me. And but now I'm writing all my recipes down for my daughter, which is hard because I don't really measure, but she'll get it.
She'll get it. And it's the handwriting too. Like my mom's, whenever I pull something out of my mom's, and she's passed as well. And I just seeing your handwriting, that's something that I wouldn't get in a digital recipe. So I just love the idea that it's handwritten and that your handwriting will be there, hopefully. And I think that's just the coolest thing. And that generation, I tell you, there's some recipes of hers that there's just like ingredients and arrows. And I was like, what does the arrow mean?
What does the arrow mean? Oh, I'm curious. If you figure that out, let me know. Yeah, I have some recipes from the bakery from one of the old bakers. He had passed a few years ago, and English was not his first language. And he wrote them down on like little scratch paper, and I took pictures of all of them. And I went back and I started to try to put them on my computer, and I realized it's like 9 pounds of sugar. 20, he does liquid in pounds. And I'm like, I don't know. I found a great app to help convert it. And I did make a couple of recipes. So that was good. But I have a couple of dozen of these great old Italian recipes. I just had to convert a lot of them. But it was literally 9 pounds of sugar. I'm like, okay, I am not making 150 pounds of these biscuits.
Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. But that lives on. So I think that's
absolutely. Fantastic. And we have to pass it on. We
really do. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I could probably talk to you for like another hour and a half.
Thank you. Very excited. Appreciate this recognition. And I'm so great that you guys are really supporting and promoting women in leadership and women in the grocery business. When I was a kid and I would deliver with my dad, it was all guys running these stores. And it's changed. And it's great. It's really great.
It is. And, one of the highlights of our year is judging the entries and letting the winners know. It's hard for us because there's so many outstanding people and so many entries that it's really hard for us sometimes to sift through and to say no to somebody. But we read all of them. We love reading and hearing about what people are doing in this industry. So it's rewarding.
Great. Thank you for all you do. Have a great weekend. Eat something great.
You too. And finally, if you have an idea for a Top Women in Grocery podcast topic, we want to hear from you. So feel free to email me at lptrack@ensembleiq.com. See you next time, and thanks for listening.